Speaking of all these history you have mentioned, what was something that stood out? Like, what was the most exciting or challenging project that you have worked on till now?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I remember I think during the COVID period, 2020, there was a project from the UNEP. We were working on the Ganga River. So the most objective was to, track and monitor the microplastic pollution in the Gangetic floodplain, from starting from, Rishikesh to the lower Gangetic part. And our team has like that time our team, I mean, the Dr. Mahua Saha is my PhD supervisor, so we were having work under her guidance, and that time like we had very only people of four who were two PhD student, two project assistant working on that, and the project demanded actually intensive labor work because that was something seasonal work, like you have to do the sampling in the monsoon time and also in the winter time to understand that how the microplastic sources are coming during the rainy season or when there is no rain. So we had to monitor, go for sampling starting from Rishikesh to Patna in a single stretch within a 2 weeks of the period of time, because you can't take more and more, because we were have sitting in the Goa, and we have to go to the Gangetic plain and to track the solution, sorry, the pollution. See, many times it's coming solution because maybe my heart wants, like, we need solution this time. So yeah, that's why many time it comes unconsciously about the solution. Yeah. So that time I remember that the in many places there were no electric boats, or the the motor boats, because for the sampling you need some steady the speed or something. It rains, and so we had to do the sampling within 15 days starting from Rishikesh to Patna in the horrible rainy season when the water in the river Ganga is up below, above the the mark which should be. So I feel that was the really challenging, because with a short team and taking a lot of samples, and you can't take gallons of samples and come back to Goa and do the analysis. So many times it happened that we had to collect some of the samples which was filtered during in the we used to go to the hotels and open our filtration system and used to filter it and keep it for the freeze it or something. We used to have our own small freezer where we used to keep our samples and then carefully bring back to the our laboratory. So I remember that was really challenging, doing all the things. And also the the chemicals study is still ongoing, because how these plastics are carrying these chemicals with them due to their hydrophobic nature. So I think I remember that now the chemical part is still ongoing. I'm still working on that, but the if you talk about the sampling in that way, I think that was the most challenging, and also taking a lot of government approvals. You can't go in the Haridwar or Rishikesh, just go and take the sample. No, you have to go with all the protection, with all the authorities and people, and you can't go directly take the sample from the sewage treatment plant. Like my colleague, she was working on that, and you have to take a lot of approvals if you are taking drinking water treatment samples. So the environmental things are really sometimes hectic, because we nobody wants to blame anybody. Even the sewage treatment plant is working properly. We are not saying it's not working, but it always get questions on the government, so we have to be very very careful about that. So I think these are the some of the hurdles, and I remember the stories I have. Yeah.
So this makes us realize that field work is very, very different from like the routine lab work which one does.
Yeah. Yes.
So also when it comes to mitigating pollution, where do we globally stand right now, and what are the strategies which are actually promising according to you? And also beyond any government interventions at a public level, what can we do as citizens to mitigate pollution and contribute?
Yeah, this is really tough question, because nobody has this answer. Everybody is now, questioning what we can do. This always comes in the last. What is the solution? What is the mitigation? But if I talk about globally, I think we are at tipping point. I mean, we know the science is clear. We know the data. The impacts are also visible. You see, many organisms die, or it is now part of the human health. The impacts are also visible. At the implication parts now somewhere lags. I mean, you know things but you're not able to do anything. It comes like, okay, some of the countries are started like the Europe, the American countries, the single ban, the plastics, and these using some of the pesticides which are biopesticide, now going to impact some of the small lab experiments also they do about the microbes which are going to eat the plastic. But when you see about the industrial way, it always lacks. Like, you have the research but it is not going in the proper direction to do the mitigation. In India also many initiatives are there, because you must have heard about the Namami Gange program, which is like in India they are initiative for the cleaning of the river Ganga, and the Ganga Action Plan, and then National Ganga River Basin Authority, which started in 2010, I guess 9. So there are many things are ongoing in India also, like, you know but we have large population. We have there are multiple plans which was made, like Namami Gange. There was mostly their target was also to remove the plastics from cleaning, also from the Ganga, also the sewage treatment plant. Because if you go some of the places, we have witnessed when we were having sampling in Ganga that many of the sewage were not working properly, and all the discharge from the household goes to the river and in the ocean also in that way. So I think the problem is somewhere also mitigation is that from the root level, because you can't say industry stop making plastic from day one. I mean, you can't say now, you should not produce. It's a requirement, it's a need for us. But what comes next is that if it is already there, how you can stop it to go to the river or the nearby water bodies. And also the sewage treatment plants plays an important role, because a huge microplastics come from them. So mitigation is something either should go from this channel, that okay, if it is already there, if it is already manufactured, already used, how we are going to stop it to reach out the rivers. Second is the uses. It's always said, you must have heard thousand multiple times, don't use single use plastic, don't use cutlery, take your own bottle, take your own glasses. But this is not actually a solution, it's awareness. We do by itself from our side, and many times we also fail to do that because we have some limitations that we can't go beyond that. uh, I mean, uh, there are always like about the sustainable development goals. So 17 SDGs are there. In that you have multiple SDGs talking about the health and the food and the clean water and things. So that way I think the worldwide initiative is there. People are also having, if you read about the plastic treaty in European countries are now taking a part of into that. Many reports are there which talk about that, how to reduce, or how the data is there, what government can do, what policies can do. So it's, I think this is something is after the research we do. Like, I have the data, I have mentioned, I know what can it create, but it goes to next higher authorities, people who can more go beyond that. Being right now I'm in not in such a stage that I can propose something. I mean, solution is there, there are many small solutions are there, but making it on a big scale really require better big hands. So I think I must say that we are still at tipping point and a lot of things needs to be done. Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll have a solution sooner than later.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And now, to end this session, we would like to ask you for a few encouraging words for the future generation, especially those aspiring to work in environmental science or make a difference in sustainability.
Drink lot of water. Yeah. And yeah. So the not only the people who are working in environmental science, I think any other field of science, this is the field I'm working is not specifically to me that okay, I'm an environmental scientist, I should work. It's actually a movement. Like, everybody should be a part of that, whether they're working on something else or not at all working on anything environmental related. So I must say that all the young people, including us, we are the hope actually. As I mentioned, it's not, environmental science is not just a field, it's actually a movement for a better future. It demands our both time and our compassion about this, like with the data, with thoughts, always put your thoughts. And like, if anytime if I feel overwhelmed, like by the people, maybe sometimes they help, sometimes they put question, what is this research, what you're trying to tell, what is going to help it, how it is going to impact it. So it's always some many times it comes as a question also, okay, whether I'm in the right direction, whether I'm working on that. So but I know that every major shift happened in this global platform is comes with everybody has their history begin with individuals, like somebody has opened talked about the science, and like the one who choose to care, to understand, okay, this should be put it out in everywhere they should talk. So be curious, be persistent also. Like sometimes we don't get result on the we do sampling for 1 year and data comes in the second year. So you have to be very patient during those 1 years. No, this is the time period when I'm going. We have a lot of cruises in the oceans that are very hectic. Some people go for 3 months. I went maybe for 20 days only. The seasickness, that time it feels okay, maybe I'm in the correct field or not. Why I'm doing so many things, my health is going, and then I have to take samples. Some of the times it's like feels like I can't do it. But it's like it's actually when the real learning happens. When I see myself before 5 years or 6 years, I was my supervisor always tells me I was in a cocoon, like the butterfly when it grows, and before that it is in small. And I was like that, not talking many things, just because I came from a background of organic chemistry. So I used to have things just going in the lab and doing the experiment, getting some chemicals, and then saying I actually wanted to shift myself from organic chemistry, from that those basic science to the applied science. So when I came to applied science, it was really really a major shift. You have to understand how ocean works. I was in Allahabad doing my study masters. We rarely see beaches or oceans there. But what dragged me was like, okay, no, something is some research are in chemistry is a pool of ocean where you have to work. So that way, you sometimes you have to shift your expertise, your masters to understand what it requires. Because PhD something is for 5 years project, and I had CSIR, JRF also. And that way you have to give exams, understand. But when you will complete it now and comes to different country, or even in the India itself, you will understand what you have achieved. During those days it feels like, no, how to do that? My colleagues are getting something paid more than that, and I'm not getting. PhDs huge long that way. So yeah, I think you have to be aware about your career, your things. So I think it always starts with awareness. It sustains only with actions. Like if you're going to do anything, it will sustain. So there is always an immense satisfaction in knowing what you are working on, that it will always reflect on your face, I guess, I feel. So no matter how small, even a smaller like microplastics, might one day it will restore a river, save a species, or empower a community. So I must say, yeah, this is from my side.
That was very, very inspiring, ma'am. Thank you very much for your time. And I'm sure that your words will leave a great impact on our listeners. And all the very best for your journey ahead. Thank you so
Thank
much.
thank you, Charvi and Taslim.